Hey everybody, this is Jay Monique with Examiner.com here at OTM Studios right here in Orlando. I'm here with Chris King and we're going to discuss keeping B.B. King's name alive and other projects that he's working on. So let's start off with the first question. How are you today, first of all?
I'm good, I can't complain. It was a nice easy drive over.
Okay, awesome. So what projects are you working on to keep B.B. King's name alive?
We are working on a lot of tributes right now, actually, to showcase the artist's interest from a celebrity standpoint, to actually pay homage to him, his career, and what he actually brought to the music industry. You know, we're talking about a man who has 15 Grammys, you know, performed for 72 years. One of the tributes will be in Memphis. It's going to be a three-day event, excuse me, in September. And it will end in Indianola. We're going to be visiting the actual grave site at the B.B. King Museum, where he's actually been placed at for his final resting place. And also one here in Orlando that I'm working on at the B.B. King Blues Club here, where we're going to feature artists such as Chrisette Michele, Usher, Trey Songz, Teddy Riley has also expressed interest in it. So there are a lot of people out there that really love the B.B. King, and the tributes is just the first wave of how me being the legacy to actually show America how much we love this man.
That's awesome. So what is the life of Riley about?
The Life of Riley is a 2.5-hour documentary, a very fun-filled, emotional, suspense and dramatic documentary. It has everything in there that you could think of about an artist's career that is meaningful, some good, some bad. Riley was a very honest man. A lot of people don't even know his real name is Riley B. King. B.B. King started from Beale Street Blues Boy, and then it was shortened to B.B. By society. You know, society places a lot of names on people. He never chose the name, it was given to him. But the movie itself shows a path from nothing, how a man can actually achieve greatness, coming from his early ages in Itta Bena, when he was where he was born, which is probably about 30-40 miles south of Indianola, because Indianola kind of sits central west Mississippi, about an hour from Memphis, so it's not that far. But covering that ground, a man who worked in cotton fields, drove tractors, never had a passion for guitars, but he sang in gospel choirs. So it covers that. It covers his road trips to Memphis. It covers slavery. It covers racism, the Martin Luther King era. All that's in the movie, and how it all played a role in building and branding the man he was and is, and the man he left us.
So you just had the screening here in Florida. What were the initial reactions from those who came out to the screening?
Well, I mean, I was nervous myself, because a lot of the people, the last time they was able to see B.B. King in Florida was 2014. No, 2013, excuse me, that New Year's Eve, and he performed in Clearwater. He hadn't been back since. So for the movie to be released shortly after, and them to be able to catch a final glimpse, you know, hear his voice again, up close and personal, right there in this, when you see the movie, the shots, you know, are so close, it's almost like you can touch him. So it was very emotional for the people to be able to see it, and then the knowledge that they gained from watching the film, because a lot of it they did not know about his past. You know, Susan, his second wife, you know, how much an impact and how long they were actually together throughout the 4 wives that he had throughout his career. You know, 17 children, a lot of them didn't know that. 35 grandchildren. You know, the man has a family. You know, most folks end at 2 kids and 3 kids.
Right.
No. No, that wasn't in his realm. He believed in family love, and when they saw the passion he gave and work ethic, they understood exactly. A lot of them left with saying, I know what I got to do now. So seeing a person's work ethic and them actually doing it every day. You know, for 50 years, he worked 365 days a year. There was no days off. Your off time was them 4 hours you got when we get to the city. You check into the hotel before we do sound check. That was your off day. And then it's time to go to work that night. So you were off from the end of the show till we had the next show. That was your off time. There was no vacation. There wasn't no going home for Thanksgiving and Christmas. And they saw that when you really want to succeed, there's no breaks. There's no excuses. You know, you have to remove yourself from your personal wants.
Right.
You know, I want to go see my mommy. It's holidays. Bye. I'm going to work.
Right.
And that was his motto. And when they saw the wedding, he married Susan on a day in Chicago. The day before, he had a concert. The very next day, he had a concert. They were married in between. And he went right back to work. There was no honeymoon. There was no champagne that night. There was no reception. There was none of that. He went to the courthouse, they got married, and he went right back to work. You know, they were honored to be able to actually see it. And a lot of them thanked me. They said, thank you for sharing this with us, because we would have never known that he got here and went through all of that.
That's right.
You know, so it's a hard road.
So what do you feel were his best performances? Obviously he had a lot of them, but what do you feel were his best performances?
Well, I can only speak on the ones that I was actually able to see myself. You know, I'm 33 years old, so I wasn't there for half of his career. I missed it. Wasn't alive. You know, 72 years touring, and I'm only been on this earth 33. He had he was accomplished when I was born. You know, so from my eyes, I went overseas with him. I've been to Europe with him, and B.B. King in London was a great show. But I think the one he actually enjoyed the most were the shows that he did when he was in Atlanta, Pensacola, Florida, Memphis, Tuscaloosa, Alabama, Cleveland, Ohio, because those are the cities where a lot of the family lived. So it gave him an opportunity to be able to see the family. And he had this routine where if you're a grandchild and you're at the show, he introduced you to the crowd. So he would bring you out on the stage after the show. Well, right when he ended the show, and he gave out the meet and greet, and he gave out the pins and necklaces. It was always a routine. It's just work. And he'd walk backstage, and whatever grandbaby is right there, he'd grab their hand and he'd pull them out.
Oh, that's nice.
You know, and take them out there, and we'll all take a bow. It got to a point, I left, I was 20, went to the military. I was in the Marine Corps for 8 years. He didn't like that. He didn't like that at all. He didn't want me abroad. But when I came home, I was still enlisted, 2005. And I went to see him in Atlanta. It was the first show with me coming back from overseas, because I was stationed in Japan. So coming back home in my dress blues, and him to see me standing there, 165-pound, slim, fine, young thing, just in a uniform that people just like, wow, that's a Marine.
Yeah.
You know, that's a real Marine right there. You know, and I had all my medals, you know, because I've been to Iraq and I've been to Afghanistan. So to be able to come home, it was emotional for him. He didn't know I was coming to the show.
Oh.
So he was on stage, he was performing, and I made it a point not to call him to let him know I was coming, or even see him before the show. So I already had my backstage passes. I keep them with me. But that was one of his iconic, Atlanta at Chastain Park, where I actually saw him become emotional at a show. And he brought me out on stage, and he said, I'm going to play one more song because my grandson is home. And I didn't even know he was coming home. And they gave me a standing ovation, and he put up a chair and sat me down right next to him, and he picked up Lucille and he played again. That night, we talked for almost 5 hours.
Wow.
Just talking, like me and you were talking, just having a conversation, you know. And it was nice for him. But I think that show for me, because that was a personal experience, you know, to be able to see him become emotional in front of his fans, because normally artists don't do that.
They usually don't.
They don't become emotional. They don't let the fans see them cry. So that was big for him. And then he always said, I got my own personal Marine now because I was home. So anytime I had vacation, he was like, where you going? You know, you getting on this bus. So we get 30 days a year, 2 weeks, I'm on the bus with him and we're going. And I'm in my dress blues and because they're Liberty attire, so I was okay. I wouldn't get in trouble for it.
Yeah.
And we had a good time on the road doing shows.
That's awesome. So let's talk a little bit more about you. Tell me about your fashion line.
The King Collection, man. This is one thing that, you know, once again, I never thought, first of all, I never thought I'd be doing this, you know. Coming from entertainment, a disc jockey, managing celebrities, then went to styling and dressing them while I was managing them. You know, it was just not something I thought would be my next door. Sitting in my barber chair, getting my hair cut. My stylist, she said, hey, you should get a bow tie. Like, no, we paid no mind.
Right.
So, Instagram, we're working. I'm posting pictures like everybody else in the world posting pictures. I'm working, doing shows. And then a company out of Atlanta reached out to me and said, hey, we want you to actually be an ambassador for our bow tie line. And I looked at it and I said, oh, this is hot. We had wooden bow ties. So I said, okay, I do it, but we have to get to the business perspective.
Yes.
Because I'm never big on just jumping on something because it's a great idea. Because a lot of times companies will do that. They'll throw the product at you and say, hey, we'll do this, we'll promote you, we'll advertise you, and you think that's great for you. But at the end of the day, you're actually making them money with your personal image.
Yes.
So at the same time, if they're going to make $1,
you better be making one
King
too.
got to make $1. And that was one of the biggest lessons my grandfather taught me was owning your name. If you're going to do something, own your name first. Don't let nobody own your name. Own your name, and you can make all the money you ever wanted once you own your name and you control it. It's called license agreements.
Right.
It's that simple. So, copyrighted my name, owned it, bought it, paid for it. Just because you were born with it don't mean it's yours.
Right.
You have to understand the business perspective. So from there, now we have the Wooden King collection, exotic wooden bow ties. Later this year we'll be launching the boutonnieres, or people call them the lapel flowers, will actually be cut from wood as well to match the same texture of wood that you're going to buy with your bow tie. It's going to be a set. And then the pocket square, or handkerchief as most people call them, but pocket square will match, the pattern will match the centerpiece on the bow ties. So you can actually buy a full set from the King collection. You know, I have some offers for a suit line and blazers and things of that nature, socks. I mean, I've gotten offers for a lot of different things to actually brand. But once again, owning your name. Don't be so fast to jump on it just because it's there, because it might not be a good fit. And timing. Timing is everything. So there are a lot of things that we're going to build on and we're going to bring to light. But I have a business model that I'm going to follow. My management team is very strict on the timing, time management, and process flow of actually doing things, because I work a lot. I work a lot hosting shows, so I can't just overwhelm myself, because I'm not finna get behind no sewing machine and do anything.
Right.
It's not me. But I will contract various designers if I like what they do and I'm styling a client and they have a perspective of what they want and that designer provides that service from their product line, then I'll contract them and say, hey, I got a client that I'm styling, he wants this. Do it. Here's
That's
your money.
right.
You know, and it's that simple, because it doesn't have to be a mainstream designer. No, I'm not sewing anything. I'm not going to get behind a sewing machine, prick my finger trying to thread it,
Right.
do any of that, because if it breaks, I can't fix it. You know, I'm limited on my technical abilities to be able to repair things, and it's very important. My point is, you have to stay in your lane.
That's true.
Of what you're good at. I have an eye. I can look at people, you know, and be able to place them in comfortable clothing that appeals to their personality and their character. Everyone's different. no two people are the same when it comes to clothing. So I see a lot of stylists that dress people in what they like and what they wear. And in my honest opinion, I think that is the wrong turn. You know, because to build strong clientele, they need to know you have their best interest with their personality and balancing off of their everyday work of what they do. Because why would I put a man in a bow tie and he's a plumber?
Or a construction worker.
Or a construction worker. His actual ratio of wearing those type of clothing is very minimal because his work day, he's dirty.
That's true.
You know, I would take that kind of client and give him a line of clothing or a division of his closet. This is your evening special event wear. And that's all he needs, because he's not going to wear a button up with some khakis and some wingtips. He's not going to do that. He's going to be in some boots with some Dickies, probably shirt and bottom. So how you style that person is going to be very different to actually how you may style Jeremy Mincy, for example, one of my clients who plays for the Dallas Cowboys. You know, him, once he's off the football field, he's very dapper. So it's two different worlds. Once he gets off of work, he actually has an image to represent in the public eye. So you got two men living two different lives, and you can't dress them the same way because of their workload. So understanding your customer client base from a styling standpoint, you know, is very important. And that's where, you know, my work really comes to life, you know, with my bow ties, because even women can wear my bow ties.
I would love to. I want one.
They're very light. They're not heavy at all. They are adjustable, so it's nice to clip on. It's very simple. If you wanted a pink centerpiece, you can get a pink one. You can get a purple one. You can get a blue one. You know, the patterns and things of that nature are very customizable. You know, so it's not a hard thing to accomplish if that's what you want. You know, it's very easy.
I think I want to go with that pink color. I think that would be.
Don't do pink. It's so girly. Do something different.
Okay, purple.
Purple.
Maybe lavender or something.
Lavender?
Yeah. No, green for the money.
Green for the money. We'll do green for the money. And now we just actually introduce initials so they can actually monogram them and put people's names in the centerpiece. I don't need that. I'm not putting my name on the bow tie and the cloth. I'm not going to do that. It's enough with them being on the back. You know, when you order a King Collection bow tie, you know, when they go to the site, it's going to be a lot of bow ties out there, a lot of wooden ones. But there's specific ones that I actually selected the material and the patterns for the centerpieces, and the actual wood that they're laid on. I actually picked those out myself and actually designed them. So, designer, I designed those. You know, I didn't stitch it, but I designed them.
Yeah, you designed it.
From that perspective, and those are signature collection bow ties. So the price margin is a little different from those because you're actually wearing my name around your neck.
Okay.
You know, vice just one of the general bow ties that they offer, because they offer a lot, and they're all good products, you know. But once again, owning your name. I want to represent someone who showed a lifetime, a legacy. B.B. King, it's a legacy. He gave me a name, and that was the most important thing he can give anyone. There's no amount of money that can amount to what he gave me when he gave me my name. You know, when my son was born, I was probably 5 seconds from signing the birth certificate, and he called my phone, and he said, "What's the boy name?" I said, "What you want the name to be, Papa?" He the fifth, so he's Riley B. King the fifth.
Okay.
So I didn't name it. That's a legacy child, because you're in the bloodline. And me and my brother only two that can have bloodline children, but from his perspective, because my father is Junior, Riley B. King Jr. So it's a lot that plays into what embodies King, the King Collection, King the brand. You know, it's a lot of history, a lot of knowledge that comes from experience of learning and working with him and other celebrities. You know, so it can get real heavy real quick.
Yep.
Get real heavy real quick.
So obviously you're multitasking. You're super busy. So what other stuff, if any, do you have going on? Are you going to be acting? Or are you going to be modeling?
That is the question of the year. Honestly, when I met with my management, that was the only goal we set for this year. Because I'm already hosting fashion shows and fashion weeks. I'm already hosting and doing appearances at clubs. I'm already hosting people's business launches from makeup artistry. We do fashion branding consulting for a lot of various businesses from photography. You know, we teach people and we give them the outlet to actually grow their individual business. Because a lot of times you'll find business people or entrepreneurs, for a better word, who have great products but don't know how to really push it.
Right, that's true.
Or they know how to use the product and they probably can sell it and talk about it, but they don't know how to brand it. And that's a very important word when you're talking about general business from an entrepreneur standpoint, is branding. Because if you look at Walmart, for example, they're a brand, but they sell a million different products, and Kmart sells the same thing. But why do we go to Walmart to buy it?
Because they're brand.
Because of the brand and how they brand their business model attracts you to go to Wally World to get the products.
Right.
So
that's true.
You don't go to Kmart.
No.
You go to Walmart. I like Walmart, but they sell the exact same fabric softener. They both sell Bounce.
They do.
So why go to Walmart over Kmart? Kmart might actually be cheaper because it's not promoted as much, but you're going to go to Walmart. So same thing applies from when I have the fashion branding and imaging consultation conference line. It's a free conference call I do every Sunday, you know, for people that have fashion related businesses to be able to call in, and I bring in other celebrities. I brought in Melinda Santiago. She manages 112. I've brought in Slim from 112, Michael Keith from 112. I've brought in Jazzy Faye. Oh my God, Pierre Edwards, comedian, the guy, people don't remember, but he played in Baps. He was the light-skinned guy. He said light-skinned brothers are in. From How to Be a Player with Bill Bellamy.
Oh, yes.
That movie. So he was our very first guest when I first started the line. He was our launch guest speaker. So from there, I bring the celebrity light, but I also bring licensed professionals, tax attorneys, you know, to actually tell them how to really file your business tax. You know, lawyers talk about copyrights, trademarks, and registrations, you know, protecting your name, owning your name. So we also, you know, we try to do a lot to help other people. It's not about me. And when people know me, work with me, or hire me, they know I have their business at my best interest. Because if you're going to hire me, especially if I'm hosting your event, I'm going to look at everything that you're doing. Where's your flyer? What's the itinerary for your show? Where's the club? Where's the venue? How many people can it hold? Because at the end of the day, it represents me.
Yeah.
My name is on it. So there are going to be times where I do things for people just because they deserve it. They deserve an opportunity.
That's nice.
You know, you don't get blessed by expecting everybody to pay you for everything.
That's true.
It's not going to happen that way. You know, when I look at my phone every morning and I wake up, sometimes you'll see me post real quick, thank God. It's a blessing. Because something is in my phone that I did not expect. I didn't ask for, I didn't send an email or solicit for. It was given to me. Every job is a blessing. Every time someone puts a check in my bank is a blessing.
Yes, it is.
You know, they don't have to hire me. It's many other people in the fashion world they can hire to host their event or make an appearance at their event. But they chose King. They chose me. Not because of my grandfather, but because of the actual path I've chosen and the work ethic I've shown from helping other people. So, got a lot moving, but acting is one thing that we actually decided to do this year, and that is coming to light through Lionsgate and Tyler Perry Studios. So I'll be there for roughly about 2 weeks doing pilots for them. So I can't wait. I think it's going to be a big move. I haven't really told too many people because, you know, we have confidentiality agreements.
Yes, the contracts.
We can't release film titles, and, you know, we can't talk about the project until they release their advertisement because it's going to hinder their business. So
that's true.
But that is one thing that is coming to light. You know, I got my SAG. You know, I paid the $3,000, so I'm a member of SAG now.
Awesome.
You know, hey.
Hey.
You know, I got my Actors Guild going. You know, so at the end of the day, it takes work. No one's going to give you anything. You have to go out there and get it. You gotta
That's
pay,
right.
You got to pay your dues.
Yes.
So, you know, when people tell me how or ask me how, go get you a job, save your money, pursue, but the sacrifice, that's where you have to make a decision. Because the sacrifice, depending on what the sacrifice is, it might be time, it might be your sleep. Whatever sacrifice you're going to make, you have to take that sacrifice and apply it to your hustle. You can't just say, I'm going to sacrifice this, but then you don't apply it to your hustle.
Right.
You expect your hustle to pay you. No, it don't work that way. I don't sleep much. That's my sacrifice.
Right,
because
that's right.
I've built over a career of entertainment involvement. So my network is very large. A lot of things I need done is a phone call away, where I'm factoring in travel time, how long it's going to take me to get there. Okay, so I'm there. Now I'm doing my assignment while I'm there. Okay, now it's time for me to go. I don't have time to sit here and play with you. I got to go.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, we only got 24 hours in a day. And then you have to factor in time zones. When you're dealing with people, my business partner lives in Tokyo, Japan. So there's 16 hours ahead of us. So
Right.
he's in the future and I'm in his past. So it kind of works hand in hand, because if he needs something done here, he can call me and say, hey, I messed that up. Go back and do it yesterday.
Wow. That's nice.
And I'll get it done here, send him an email, say it's done, and then there it'll pop up and start the next day and it's fixed. So, you know, or when we travel and commute, we try to do things here, and then we'll fly to the West Coast, because you're flying back through 3 different time zones, back 4 hours.
Yeah.
So if we actually leave here at 4 and we're supposed to arrive at 8, we actually arrive at 4.
That's true.
So we get there the same time we left, or about an hour later, because of the time zones, and we still get to do what we need to do business-wise because of the time frames. But people don't think about that.
That's true.
You have to make sure time management and the understanding of how time works in your entrepreneur world. You gotta make it make sense for you. So if you got a job, and you got a husband, and you got kids, and then you're trying to do a hustle, you got a lot on your plate.
Yes.
Because the hustle is a business. And if you treat your hustle right, you're treating your business right. So from that perspective, it will treat you right. But if you don't and you abuse the hustle, you abuse your entrepreneurship by not respecting the business model behind being an entrepreneur, networking, it will hurt you and you will lose. And then you're going to become depressed and demotivated, and you don't want to do anything because you're going to tell folks, just get a job and go to school. And that's most of the parents of today. They don't push their children to be entrepreneurs. Why? They came through a world of hardship where individuality was not a success story. That actual claim to fame was very rare. It didn't happen to everybody. It wasn't realistic to them. So to paint realistic a picture, my son and my daughter, as an example, they naturally have a gift to dance. Any song come on, hip hop, it don't matter. They're up and they're moving. A parent of today, just from the old day, would say, that baby need to be dancing to that music.
That's true.
And I honestly think that is the wrong objective. Because don't worry about the music and why they're dancing. Because they don't have the understanding ability of what the people are saying in the music. They don't understand that. But they like the music. It's the noise. It's the sound. It sparks them to want to move. So at 2 and 3 years old, I see that. That's a talent they want, not what I want. They want, and they love to dance. So what do I do as a parent who observes their children? Okay, we're gonna hone those skills and get you an instructor, get you a choreographer, and put you in some ballet, some gymnastics, and some hip hop urban dance classes, and and actually mold it and control it. Because see, once you control it, you're just giving them a gift. You didn't push them away. You didn't discourage them, because we shouldn't discourage our children. We should want them to want to achieve their goals, because that has no effect saying they won't still go get an education.
That's right.
That means now with gymnastics at her 2 and 3, guess what? That's a cheerleader. That's competition. That's Olympics.
That's true.
Seeing the bigger picture of what dancing and hip hop can do for a person, if that's what their talent is. Don't look at it for right now. Look at it for tomorrow. But you have to mold it now and control it and actually put some effort in it.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of our parents today, we're lazy. We don't put no effort. Stylists, we're lazy. We don't put no effort. Designers, we're lazy. We don't put no effort. So when the clothes don't sell, we give up. No, focus. Put in an effort. Hone your skills. Hone your talent. Educate yourself about your craft and treat your business model right. And I think it'll all work out for everybody if they just took those little small notions and work it out, you know?
That's right.
I ain't a genius, I don't know it all, but you know, my little 2 cents can go a long way.
I believe so, absolutely. Mine can too. I think. Okay, so we're pretty much approaching the end of the interview. Is there anything else that you would like to add or want the audience to know?
Well, shoot for the skies, you know, and whatever you do, make sure you represent yourself properly in anything that you do. You know, you're going to network right way. Make sure people have your information, you know. Branding is important. They can find me on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter. Everything is King the Brand. You don't have to find me and search 3 different titles, 3 different aliases or hooks. It's just King the Brand. It's very simple, you know. And my management is Tina Cox at Diamond Management. She also works with Flip Mode, Busta Rhymes. So me and Busta are her only 2 clients, you know. So and DJ Scratchinator. But other than that, you know, it's a great world that we live in. And I do thank Examiner. I thank Orlando Talent Magazine, you know, for allowing us to use their facilities. You know, it's an honor to be in Orlando. I hadn't been here in a while, so I think I'm gonna have me some fun while I'm here.
Absolutely, enjoy it.
You know, I got a couple promoters I'm gonna call and see if I can turn up on the city for a little
bit.
You know, we here. We're gonna have a good time while we here.
Well, all right. That's the end of our interview today. Thank you so much for.
Pleasure.
All right, and have a good day.
Bye.
Bye.